Hello everyone, welcome back to Ace Combat X. It's been a while for this one. Hello Sovereign. It is October 24th. And no, it is not 10 o'clock in the morning. And no, this is not the House of Elrond. But yeah, today we're going to start a new campaign, and first time we're going to be doing a canonical playthrough as best we can. The only aircraft we'll be able to use. Welcome, Zakeo. Yeah, the only aircraft we'll be able to use are the F-4 Phantom and the F-22 Raptor. I'm not sure exactly when canonically the switch happens. So the switch will happen after we retake Port Patterson. Anyway, before we get started, how is the game voice audio balance? Because I know on the laptop the game wanted to be really loud. And it's the first time I streamed it on the PC. Are you able to hear me alright? Or is it too... Am I too quiet? Is the game too loud? I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and start. Start a new game. We're gonna do it on normal.
Okay, let's begin the briefing. Operator Eugene Solano, I'll be keeping you up to date. We've got news that an invading LASAF squadron has just taken off from the Puna Plains, en route for an attack on our position, Aubrey Base. From their perspective, this attack is the final nail in our collective coffin. After all, this is the only base that hasn't fallen under their control. I guess we can consider ourselves lucky. It looks like the enemy has gotten a little overconfident and sent only a small attack force. Griffith Squadron, prepare for launch immediately. Fly around the mountains and avoid enemy radar. Oh, I forgot. The enemy squadron consists mainly of bombers supported by several fighters. Please protect this base and destroy the enemy bombers. If everything goes well, we should be able to get the upper hand on the enemy in this area. All right, please prepare for launch. Let's pay back the LASAF forces with at least one defeat. One final thing. During combat, my codename will be Crux.
Obligatory kill the bombers.
Keep you up to date on the battle situation.
That's definitely
so
fun.
Please pay attention to your radio.
All right, Operation number 1: Skies of Deception, Cape Aubrey. Okay, so we are going to be using the Canon aircraft and the Canon parts. Or not parts, but color. So we're going to start with the Phantom. And then eventually we'll make it to the F-22. And this particular one is not actually the base Aurelian skin. This is actually a skin done by Ostrich based off the Ace 6 DLC for Griffiths 1. So it actually has the details for Port Aubrey, Griffiths 1's number, all that lovely details. But we're not getting that one for a while, or a little bit. go ahead and start with the Phantom. We're going to start with Sparrow. Everyone here is immune to agiles, I'm not worried. Thank you for the 3 stream. You probably did miss one. I think you missed the Sunday evening one with me and Floof. That'd be the one I think you missed. It wasn't a scheduled stream because I didn't know if I'd be able to. No worries, Sovereign, it's okay. You more than make up for it by... I mean, I think you and Cross are the ones that are always here, so take a day off. I know. I'm just glad you hear that often. Operation 1, Skies of Deception, 1400 hours.
Clark to Griffith Squadron. Maintain your present course. Do you see the enemy formation on your radar? Read you loud and clear. We're coming up on the enemy from behind, just like we planned. You can let the escorts go. Just make sure you take out all...
I'm not letting the escorts go. No survivors.
After all, we're Aurelian pilots. Isn't it right?
Is it Aurelian or Aurelian? I thought it was great. Okay, no, listen. Yeah, it's like we're at war.
What are you doing? You shouldn't be wasting horses. Relax. We're just going to bomb some...
And in war,
There'll be more than enough for us.
cities are targets. They have been, at least in Real Strange, since like World War I. It's called Total War. Not being too smart, me. Yeah. It just sounds like Griffiths 2 is really from the sticks. And I say that as a Midwesterner. Here we see the Phantom in its natural habitat, intercepting bombers. And it does so very well, because of its big, fat engines.
Yeah! Take that! Baked every last one of them. Didn't even break a sweat. Next one, what do you say we head to the capital and take her back right now?
You know when I first saw the Gleipnir? Hello, Sly. Welcome to Stem. When I first saw the Gleipnir, during my first ever playthrough, when it decloaked, it's like, is that a Romulan warbird? me being a massive Trekkie and all that stuff, of course,
Hey,
I
that
see
better not be what I think it is.
the cloaking bird-like object and think Romulan.
Where's it coming from? How far is it? It's no use. We're too late. Griffiths 2. Come in, Griffiths 2.
And the Hammy Award goes to Griffiths 2, aka Rick. Of course, awarded posthumously. It's the Covenant, what noise?
The mission was a success.
Technically, it was a
The destruction of the
success.
enemy bombers will help keep an enemy invasion of Aubrey Base at bay. However, we also suffered serious losses. There's no way anyone could ever call this mission a success.
Well, I mean, the mission
Couldn't do
objectives.
anything to save them. So that's the super weapon Lasaf used to take over all of Aurelia in only 10 days. Who could have imagined that they possessed such destructive power?
I mean, a lot of Ace Combat X's voice acting is meme-tastic. But Crux's voice acting there actually felt genuine. Like it was really crushed.
Let this be a symbol of the fury borne by our countrymen towards Aurelia.
Such was the impassioned speech of Laysath's commander Diego Gaspar Navarro, as images of the Aurelian squadron's destruction over Cape Aubrey played in the background.
Yeah, but
A day later, his gravelly voice
we
continued
still
to
have
echo
control
through
of
my hungover
Aubrey.
brain.
we have a base to fight back from.
October.
And you just pissed off
1 year
the
after the
protagonist.
cessation of the Democratic Republic of Laysath's civil war. After the Civil War, Laysath began to set their sights on their peaceful neighbor, the Federal Republic of Aurelia, claiming retribution for years of exploitation. The invasion suddenly began.
Wait, am I playing
With
Ace
the
X or am I
ever-present
playing
threat
Ace
of the
6?
cloaked airborne fortress, Gleipnir, looming overhead, there was little time to react.
'Cause
to
that's the
few
exact
concerns
reason
raised
why
about
the
the
Stovies
validity of
invaded.
the war. Such was the speed at which
I am
all of
following the
Aurelia
canon
fell
route,
under
yes.
Laysath's control.
I
Now,
looked up
not
on the
everything has
wiki
fallen into their hands,
and found
but it's only
the
a matter
route
of time. Looking out over the
Um,
capital, Gaius Tower
that
is both home to
was
Laysath's central
considered
command
canon.
and the very symbol of its power.
So yeah,
it was
we will be
originally
doing
intended to be a symbol of Aurelia's peace.
Skies of Deception, Out of the Fire, Prelude,
As I looked up at the sun,
Mission
traveling
4A
the
Last
same
Line
old path
Defense,
across the
Mission
sky,
5A
the
Rolling
rays
Thunder,
burned my
Mission
tired
6B
eyes.
Icebound, Mission
Damn it.
7B Standoff in the
Wish I could
Skies
finish
2,
covering this completely
Mission
one-sided
8A
war and head
Striking
back
Point,
home. I'll never get used to
Mission
being in the southern
10A
hemisphere with
Joint
its backwards
Operation,
seasons.
Mission 9B A Diversion, lovely, Mission 11A In Pursuit 1, Mission 12C Wildcard, Mission 14A Firestorm, Mission 13B Armada, Mission
However,
15B
We
Into
lost all
Deception
trace of it
2.
shortly after. Unfortunately, Aurelia's information.
Although I
can
didn't need
provide no
to,
further details
but
at this
since the
time.
head of the wiki is here, I needed
We'll just
to,
have to take what we can
I
get.
felt the need to be impressive. Yes, X does need a remake. It needs to come out of handheld exile. Yes, the Naiad is canon, Zakel. That is Mission 6B Icebound. So you will hear the Naiad in this playthrough.
The airborne fortress Gleipnir nearly wiped out our entire attack force. Even with you, sir, our remaining aerial attack strength is severely
The only
limited.
thing that's kind of
We no
questionable
longer have the
as
necessary
to
manpower or supplies to
canonicity
pursue
in this
Gleipnir.
playthrough is when I
In
actually
addition, there are reports of enemy
make the
forces
switch
gathering
between
at
the
Fort
F4
Patterson.
and the F-22.
If we don't move soon, it will only be a matter of time before they attack from behind.
I'm
Given
making
the
the switch
situation,
after we take
We are
Fort
left with
Patterson.
only one plan of
So
attack.
starting from mission 4 onward,
The
we're in the
plains lying
F-22.
between Aubrey Bay
Is
and
that
Fort
too
Patterson.
early? Maybe.
Laysap forces
But
have
that's as
hastily
far as I can
constructed a
stand the
resupply
F4.
base to house the large quantity of supplies needed to support their troops. Attack Puna Base. Destroy all parked bombers and base facilities. Take away the enemy's ability to
It
fight.
is early.
If you succeed,
But Aurelia is
you'll
also
gain an
a
important foothold for an attack on Fort Patterson.
affluent
And
country.
what's more, we'll gain the supplies
So
we need.
it's not out of the realm of
fight.
possibility for them to have
Unless we succeed in taking this base, that's it for our
Raptors.
supplies. Please don't fail, sir.
I don't know what other cannon planes he has. Apollos? The Apollos is cannon? You have a list of... Okay, let me look. If that's the case, then yeah, I'll be glad to have the Apollos. I love the Apollos. Okay. All right. In the canon depiction of the fight with Gleipnir, it shows Griffiths using the X. All right. Well, in that case, we'll be using the Apollos from mission 4 through at least Santa Elva. Well, I mean, the F-22 is canon. I mean, it's the fucking box art. When do you guys want me to make the switch from the Apollos to the Raptor? Okay, switch to the F-22 after In Pursuit. Alright, so starting with wild card on, we'll have the F-22. Alright. In Pursuit is long after the Gleipnir cross. In Pursuit is the mission right before we take Griswold. Also, mission operation number 2, out of the fire. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo my script. We're not gonna take the Apollos, I just want to know its weapons. Okay, so... for that one, we're gonna want... Yes, Sly, how have you been? It's been a minute. Work picked up. Yeah. I hear that. Alright. Let's get back to the worst fighter. Alrighty, here we go. Yeah. Alifire, 1300 hours. Puna Plains. You're getting bombed. That's what's going on.
What? Didn't our last attack finish off all remaining Aurelian air power? Look to yourself. None of our guys have a time
Let's see here. Crosses says, I love how this game was like, hey, remember when the F4 was a carrier craft? Because the F4J was never put into the games. We're going to bring that back. Well, the F4E never was carrier. That was an Air Force plane. But pretty much every other F4 was also a Navy variant, in which case it was a carrier aircraft. In fact, the F4 was originally USN instead of USAF. And the USN used it strictly as an interceptor. And then the Air Force was like, what if we could take this interceptor but try and make it dogfight? Because missiles are better than guns, despite the fact that we have reports that our radar-guided missiles will sometimes just drop off the rails without actually engaging, and our heat seekers will lock on to the sun.
We have an emergency. Come in. This is Port Patterson Command. What's the situation, Tuna Base? We're taking enemy fire. Request reinforcements immediately.
Yeah.
Request reinforcements immediately. It'll take some time. We need time to run. Hold on for reinforcements.
That actually happened.
If they don't get here soon, there'll be nothing left of this base but a pile of rubble. Another fire! We've been here too! Target hit.
Also, I wouldn't be surprised if the USAF brass was getting kickbacks from McDonnell Douglas for signing contracts with McDonnell Douglas to green light the Phantom and practically everything.
Get out of there!
Yeah, Grumman kicked McDonnell Douglas's ass with the Tomcat. The Tomcat was basically the Phantom, but better. For example, the Tomcat can actually turn. It goes just as fast as the Phantom. It was designed around the AIM-54 Phoenix, which it could carry 6 of them, could independently lock onto 6 different aircraft, and the Phoenix was a fire and forget, meaning, unlike the Sparrow, the Tomcat could fire its Phoenixes and then maneuver out of the way. To be fair, it's not that the USAF wanted to make the F-4 dogfight, but that the IFF technology wasn't as reliable as it is now, and Congress imposed as fuckload of ROEs upon the pilots, where they could only fly in a certain air quarter, which the NVA obviously moved all their SAM sites to. I mean, that's not unique to Vietnam, Zakale. In Serbia during the 90s, the politicians did the same thing with our stealth bombers. So the Serbs just kind of figured out when and where our stealth bombers were coming in from and what time they would be flying. And then they set their radars to the lowest possible frequency where they couldn't actually lock on to the Nighthawk, but they could detect it. And then they just kind of got lucky and shot one down. And after that, the USAF was like, hey, politicians, fuck you. We're doing unannounced air corridors. And we never lost another stealth craft. As one gets older, the Phantom doesn't look too bad aesthetically. I mean, to me, it looks ugly as sin. It really does. The bends in the tail and the wings, those are aerodynamic band-aids for bad design. This thing, the only reason why this thing can fly is because of the 2 giant engines. Its thrust-to-weight ratio sucks. But as it originally was designed, it was meant to take off really fast, get to altitude really fast, fly in a relatively straight line to take out the bombers with their semi-active Sparrow missiles. So they didn't want to actually be turning very much. Take out the bombers long before they got to the carrier, then land. You don't need that much aerodynamics for that, you just need a lot of speed. So as an interceptor, the Phantom is well designed. It still doesn't look that great in my opinion, but it works. It's the USAF that tried to make it do things it wasn't supposed to do, which got people killed. Yes, we kick ass. The politicians think it'd be a good idea to kneecap us. Even still, yeah, I was gonna say, even still, we do kick ass.
Retreating LASAF forces have abandoned Puna base. The base, including all provisions stored there, now belong to us. Now
All
we'll
your
be able
bases
to
are
provide
belong to
backup
us.
support for our troops.
Alright, we're gonna do last mission with the Phantom. Fort Patterson. Mission 3A Prelude. 1200 hours. Advance on the enemy base. Once the attack begins, you cannot return to this area. Do you wish to continue? Yes. I do.
The battle to retake Port Patterson is about to begin. Our scattered forces have come together for this battle. They're few in number, but we
Sly, I
managed to
guess
assemble a
because
small ground force.
of the branching paths,
The LASAF
we don't
fleet
actually have a
continues to
canonical
gather in
date
Port
for
Patterson,
any of these
and the presence
operations.
of the Transportation Corps has also been confirmed. Having lost Puna base, it appears LASAF now intends to shuttle in troops and supplies overseas. If any more ships dock at Port Patterson, enemy strength will become more than our ground troops can handle. In order
is
to
not
prevent
that- oh,
this,
okay.
we need you to launch a preliminary strike on Port Patterson.
Games in by Christmas.
Destroy
Yeah, I
all
know.
enemy supply
It's another
vessels, landing
3-month
ships,
war.
and freighters. In particular, try to keep
Because
as
of
many
course
enemy
it's a 3-month
landing
war.
ships from
Although-
entering the port as possible.
To be fair,
Supplies must not
Aurelia's
reach
not
the
that
enemy.
big.
The number of enemy landing ships inside the port will be displayed
We
on
don't
the
know it's the
MPG
same year.
in the upper right-hand corner of your HUD. If the MPG reaches the max level, our forces will no longer be able to retake Fort Patterson. This time, a substantial enemy counterattack is to be expected. It seems the loss of Puna base
According to
has
the
put them on
wiki,
guard.
it says October
careful.
through December 2020, but it does have notes. Or references. Oh, that's an assumption. Gotcha. Denmark fell into ours. Goes here. They actually fought back. Yeah, I know. And I mean, the same story happened with Aurelia. The fact that Aurelia got pushed back to basically Cape Aubrey in less than a week makes total sense. It's us fighting all the way back to reclaim our territory, invade Lasath, and take out what's that fortress? Archelon. That I question whether or not we can do that in 3 months. It's a lot easier for me to do that. Fortress Intel. That's in Usia, Sly. But it's a lot more believable for me to believe that the Aurelian War took 3 months than the Circum-Pacific War took 3 months. Because that's a lot of territory. Like, a lot of territory. That's like somebody going from Eastern Russia and invading and getting to mid-Siberia in 2 months. Notice he didn't control all that territory, though. They still drove deep. The difference between Belka / Aruja and Yuktabanya is by that point in the war, both Belka and Aruja had basically lost at least half, if not more, of their military ground forces. Yuktobanya still had a lot of reserves left. Aruja didn't? Wait, what do you mean? Okay, which version of Aruja are we talking about? Oh my god. Sly is no longer immune to Agile. I have been so used to Sly being immune to Agile, I forgot about it. Okay, we'll wait. Having a mod sword should grant you immunity from Agile. Because you're a mod. You're not mine. Yeah, it still should grant you immunity. But anyway, Sly, which Aruja are you talking about? Are you talking about the Federal Aruja or Kingdom of Aruja? Because we're talking about Kingdom of Aruja, we both know they did not have the manpower to hold the continent without the Arsenal bird. Federal Aruja might have had enough ground power. How much different in effect, both were authoritative. I mean, yeah, they were. The different sovereign is Federal Aruja didn't, or Kingdom of Aruja had already lost a war and they hadn't recovered from that yet. Sly, I was initially referring to Federal Aruja. Kingdom of Aruja did not have the ground power to hold its territory without its drone nets. And how many of those dogfights were solely organic pilots? And how many were heavily supplemented by Hornet and flanker drones? Unexpected Visitor is the only one that I know of that is solely organic pilots. Everything else, we don't really know. Yeah, we had humans at Lighthouse, supplemented heavily by drone fighters. I mean, that's a whole mechanic. Take out the Raptor and Felon leads, and the flankers and Hornets go lazy. And how many of those were actually Erusian? And how many were similar to the Volslagians? I think the implication is that most of your Erusian aces were actually not ethnic Erusians. Shit!
I'm not gonna let him think I'm here. AA guns destroyed. Griffin Moore bagged another one.
But my point is that it's not air power that holds territory, it's ground power. And I don't believe that Erusia, especially Kingdom of Erusia, had the ground power to hold its territory without the arsenal burb and the drone networks.
Enemy planes approaching. Somebody help us! How many ships are still operational?
And even then,
Enemy freighter
it took Osea at least a year to defeat Erusia in the Lighthouse War. So how the hell could they defeat Yuktabanya, a full-blown superpower, in 3 months while dealing with their own internal squabbles?
This is the fifth amphibious unit. We're about to enter the port. You'll be able to acquire supplies after entering the port. Just head for the bridge. We've raised the bridge. Hurry up and get inside
May
the port.
15th. That's
Enemy freighter
still the better part of a year.
Fly faster. Don't crash into our allied ship.
Hello, Ross. Welcome to stream. I don't know. I just think the Circum-Pacific War went canonically by too fast for a war that's basically being puppeteered to grind the two superpowers into dust through attrition.
Maintain current formation. Debris has disappeared. Enemy freighter destroyed. Engine room, give us more speed. Help me! He's right behind me! Alright, I dodged it.
Well, technically in A7, the true war, or the main war, did end September 19th with the fall of Harvanti. Everything else that happened afterward was just complete fucking chaos because of the unexpected Kessler syndrome.
Enemy approaching from starboard side. Enemy up ahead. These are the guys that just put a base. We'll get a medal for taking them down.
God, I hate this bird so much.
Evasive maneuver successful. One of ours went down.
Come on. Come on, Saber. Fuck you. Goddamn Ace 5 engine on me. Son of a bitch. I have 6 missiles. Holy shit. I think that's 4. I guess it's just, for me, it's the type of enemies that Osia's fought. In the Belkan War, it made sense because while the Belkans were technically more technological advanced than Osea, Osea had fucking numbers. There was no way Belka was going to win because Osea just say we have reserves and Zerg Rush. Against the Kingdom of Aruja, the only way that Aruja was able to hold off the overwhelming might of Osea, both technologically and numbers-wise, was to use a sneak attack with drones to cripple the Osean Navy, limiting them to what they had currently on continent, then steal, with help from Grunder, the Arsenal birds, to basically grind or turn the entire continent into a fucking no-fly zone. Once they lost the burbs and Osea's navy got rebuilt, yeah, Aruja was going to get steamrolled. They didn't have the tech or the numbers to fight the Oseans. The thing is with the Yuktobanians, theoretically, Osea and Yuktobania at the time were evenly matched. Neither one side had an advantage that the other couldn't counter. Yeah, Belka has ocean access to the north. Now, if you want to say that Yuktobania is like Russia, aka
the
a paper
emblem
tiger,
of the Southern Cross.
Okay,
it was on
I
that
guess
very
I could
day
see that.
The aircraft bearing the mark of the Southern Hemisphere brought about the
But
defeat of
the game
Leysat's
made it out
forces.
to be where
But the story
Yuktobania
barely
was
made
an
the
even
news,
match
and
to
the army
Osea.
showed no apparent reaction. Almost nightly, Leysat's commanding officer,
And that
Diego
theoretically,
Gaspar
Yuktobania
Navarro,
had more numbers
placed
than
host to
Osea.
grand banquets within Gaia's Tower.
Oh yeah.
This evening, he is once again proudly trumpeting the glory of his airborne fortress.
I'm not gonna
I've
lie,
heard the
I've
speech
been
so many times, it feels like I wrote it.
anxious
Which, in a way, is a
about
good thing, because it lets me concentrate on
the
enjoying the food instead.
quote-unquote
As I gazed
special
out the window at
military
the night sky,
operation.
I felt
Sarcasm
as if even the
fully
phases of the
intended.
moon were somehow at odds with those of the
Because
Northern
I've
Hemisphere.
always been afraid
The
of
words of a fellow reporter who fancied himself a connoisseur
certain
of fine
weapons
wine
getting thrown around.
really got me thinking about the price of
But-
the glass of wine in my hand. One
Oh my
glass
God.
of it is roughly equivalent to several years of a Leysathian citizen's
It
salary.
has shown that
Haven't the
Russia
long
is
years
literally a
of civil
paper.
war left Leysath an
bear.
impoverished and war-torn nation?
Oh,
Whatever
I
the
am
case,
terrified.
Much is
of
unclear about the flow of money
the
in
nukes.
Leysath. Ever since I arrived here, I've only covered stories the military had
But no,
approved.
I am no longer afraid
However,
of Russia
This
conventionally.
particular mystery just might be worth investigating on my own. The idea was nothing more than the product
This
of an
is
idle
true.
mind.
What Sovereign says, allegories
time.
are not the same thing as their inspiration themselves.
Okay, let's get started with a report of the situation. I think our best option under the circumstances would be to head towards Santa Elva. Santa Elva is a strategic location.
Okay,
that
to
we
be
have
honest,
pass through to
Sly-
get to the capital, Griswold.
Bragging that
However, there are several other
NK
strategic points on the way to Santa
is
Elva. Which
supporting
points
you is not the
choose
flex
and in
they
what
would
order
like
you do so
it to
is
be.
up to you. It looks like your decisions will affect the course of this battle. I know it's an immense responsibility, but there's no one else to count on. We're relying on you to get us through this. It appears that the enemy's Miller unit is gathering at Kings Hill. It looks like they're trying to take back Port Patterson. I wonder what they're up to.
That's true. We have to keep that in mind.
Next, we have reports that the Allied Davis unit is cut off at Stand Canyon.
Starting out in the
Gleipnir took
Circum-Pacific
off from
War,
Puna Base and is
Osea was
currently
at a
standing
severe
by at
handicap
Terminus Island.
that they did to themselves.
With the long strike range of the Gleipnir, there's not much our forces can do. It appears that the enemy is moving
Thank you for
towards
the
Stand
Starscream.
Canyon to eliminate our remaining forces.
Oh, Sly.
We'll need those remaining forces in our attack
I am.
on Santa
Once
Elva,
we get
so I think we
to the
should probably
A7
send help.
showcase revisited,
If left
I am
alone,
going to rip the
they'll be
Felon a
helpless
new
against
one.
the aerial fortress. Just like what happened
Because
to us in
I-
Bovary.
Like Project
Also,
Aces,
Santa Elva is
I
a key
thought it was
location
gonna
for
be
the
a
enemy,
great fighter.
and I think they'll concentrate their forces there. We'll have major
I-
problems if they send
I
in their
really
aerial
like
fortress.
the Felon.
I'll give you more
of
details
Strange
once
Reel.
you decide on a route. Please tell me which route you plan to take.
It looks great. And I've told the story before. When I first got A7, I ground out two-pronged strategy so I could beeline through the Soviet plane tree. Not because I like the Soviet plane trees, but because the Felon had pulse lasers. I won my pulse lasers. And yeah, it's Markov carrying a nuke, for God's sakes. I was led to believe that the Felon was going to be the next greatest thing. On par with the Raptor. And then we learn what the Felon actually is like. It's held together by wood screws and rivets. Its radar cross section is the same as the F-18. It's didn't even come standard with onboard GPS. Apparently, from reports on the field, Felons go into battle with Garmin's duct tape to the dashboard. Its thermal signature is gigantic. The Felon is just another example of Russian corruption and all that stuff. But anyway, the felons fail, yes. Whereas the Raptor was designed to beat the only unbeatable aircraft known to man. The F-15. How many days is it into the 3-day war? I don't know. I think everyone's kind of holding their breath to see what we're gonna fucking do. But I'd rather not discuss what the United States is, what's gonna happen with the United States in the next coming weeks. Because that shit right now is driving me insane with anxiety, and this is my escapism, so let's not go there. Anyway, Mission 4A, Last Line of Defense.
LASAF's Miller unit is meeting up at Kings Hill. Based on the sheer strength of the enemy force, an offensive aimed at retaking Port Patterson appears imminent. A partially completed highway runs directly...
Oh, the
from Kings
highway!
Hill
I don't want to do a
to
high...
the heart
God
of
damn
Port
it!
Patterson.
Why is this
The
one
enemy
canon?
intends to use this highway to swiftly spearhead its way through our defenses. Their ground forces must
All I'm gonna be
destroyed
doing is rushing
if
from
Fort
one
Patterson is
tunnel to
remain
another
ours.
one.
Our soldiers are in a precarious position. If they are attacked now, they will have no choice but to abandon the port. One more thing. On the highway leading to Port Patterson, there is a tunnel. If an enemy tank makes it to the tunnel, it will be beyond the reach of any air assault. If even one enemy tank enters the
Apparently,
tunnel,
PA1
our
Griffiths
mission
still
will fail.
prioritize saving the troops.
Please make sure this
I mean,
doesn't
it'd be
happen.
better if, you know, they actually gave you enough special weapons to handle it. Again, we're dealing with with Ace 5 level game engines, so they don't believe in giving you enough ammo to do the job. Okay. So, if one tank breaks through, game over. Great. Great. I love it. Yeah. Ah. Okay. Apples. You're right, it's not that bad if we were in a fast aircraft. The Atlas is not fast. Although I can tune it. Okay, Mercury. I hate that phrase, Sly. I'm considering putting it on my auto mod list. Alright. Try the sea cycle, see if we can get some speed out of the old girl this way. Normally I'd be using the Mavericks, but the bombs are spread and I want to kill as many as I can in one bomb.
The enemy is using a partially built highway to cover their movement. The location is well concealed.
Oh yeah, this is better
making it
speed-wise.
impossible to identify from the air. Wait for enemy vehicles to leave the rendezvous point, then strike. Protect the tunnel entrance at all costs. If an enemy gets inside, it's all over.
God bless Sniper OS. Huh. Ace 5. Sorry, we didn't get enough budget for ammo. You get what you get. Deal with it. Ace 7. Fuck it. Here's 150 multi-locks. Good luck with running out of ammo. Ace 6. We're giving you more ammo than God. We want you to fight him. Good luck. If one single tank gets inside the tunnel, port batteries will follow the entire country. Yeah, I know. I know, Sly. Why do you think I put on a race car engine? Oh yeah, A6 also gives you a fuck ton of support. Ameria is the most powerful nation, or most powerful military with the most incompetent satellite techs. Ameria is the nation that proves that intelligence is a dump stat. Ameria won the war in spite of military intelligence, not because of it. Actually, I think Ameria is one of the few nations on Strange Reel whose politicians aren't at least openly corrupt. It's just that its military, it's not that they're corrupt, it's that they're just dumb. Whatever. Semantics. Don't fight it. Two of them! Fucking hell. Isn't the Ace Combat Games kind of retroactively put into the USGF or UGSF canon? Like, the earliest entry? Technically only AC3. And what is the canonicity of AC3? Is it like a DBZ movie where it happened but it didn't? Ish. It happened but it didn't. I mean, if nations were D&D classes, I would have to say that Ameria would be the paladin. Paladins don't have to be that bright, but they have to be strong, and they almost have like divine powers. And we all know that Ameria's patron deity is our Lord and Savior RCL. Why else do you think they're so goddamn powerful? RCL is Ameria's smite.
Enemy forces have been eliminated. The mission was a success.
Okay. Thank you for timing the ad break there, Sly.
We've succeeded in
I mean, the
preventing
natural
Miller unit
thing
from invading Port
would be calling
LASAT
Ameria the
forces are in
Barbarian.
retreat.
But
Let's hope they
Ameria
learn their
actually
lesson
has
and think twice
charisma
before trying to take Fort Patterson
in the
again.
fact that a lot of nations actually, you know, like Ameria. And Ameria knows when not to push the invasion. Technically, we don't actually know that. I mean, technically, Osea would definitely be a fighter. Easily a fighter class. I would almost say Belka is an artificer. Because half the super weapons in Strange Real have Belkin fingers all over them. And what do artificers do? They make a lot of advanced shit. Alright. Next is Rolling Thunder. Okay. Stand Canyon. Oh, this is the one. This one isn't too bad. I actually normally... Yeah. That's exactly what I said, Sly. Belka is the artificer. What'd you think I said? What happened to the reactors on the Alicorn again? They went boom boom after the Oceans blew it up. Theoretically, all that rain, or that water that rained down on the Ocean ships and their crews that were standing out just looking like dumb idiots, that was radioactive rain. So they should all be getting cancer in like 10 to 15 years. But do you taste that? But as for long-term environmental effects, I would not be too worried about it because the radioactive material would dissipate enough that it would still be radioactive, but it wouldn't be like super radioactive, like high concentrations.
Allied ground forces are stranded at Stan Canyon. There are members of the Davis
It's
unit
like
who were en
one
route to an
nuke going
assault on
off in the
Santa Elva
atmosphere
when they were
isn't,
cut off
I mean,
from the
it's
main
bad,
force.
but
The Santa
it's
Elva
not
offensive could use their support, and we can hardly
long-term
leave them for
catastrophically detrimental.
dead. However,
I mean,
LASAF has already begun
Hiroshima and
mobilizing to search and
Nagasaki
destroy
have been
operations.
completely rebuilt.
It's only a matter
They
of
are
time before
once
the
again
Davis unit
populous
is wiped
cities. They
out.
have been for
I think we should launch
50
a strike
years?
now and save as many
So-
of our troops as we can. Although the area
it's not going to completely irradiate stuff. The reason why Chernobyl is so bad is because it was highly concentrated.
Our squadron.
Because
By
it didn't
shielding
dissipate.
and
It just
flying
kind of
low through the canyon.
sat
It
there.
should be possible to avoid an attack by the
And the
SWBM.
meltdown was
In the event
not
that
an
Glacier
instantaneous
should attack,
explosion,
stay
but
below the
more
rim
like
of the
an
canyon
ongoing
for
implosion
less than
and fire.
2,400 feet.
Yeah, the Soviets really didn't have much in the way of safety procedures. Alright, add jail. Um... 3 Mile Island, while bad, is actually not very bad, relatively speaking. No, I did not. To be honest, I didn't know it was still closed. Because it wasn't a Chernobyl level event. Gonna reactivate one of the reactors and use it to power. Oh, great. But no, I'm actually for investment into nuclear power. I would rather it be fusion power because it's a lot more sustainable. We just don't have the technology to do it quite yet. But Amazona's doing nuclear investment somewhere too for its own. Guys, we must now welcome our AI overlords. Because, like it or not, they're on their way. The age of Skynet is upon us. Scary. AI overlord's not that way. Yeah. We really need to figure out what we're gonna do and how we're gonna treat AI. Like, now. Because we're running out of time. It's like they ignored RoboCop, Terminator, Mass Effect. Yeah. Metal Gear. Yeah. It's like there's so many cautionary tales about the develop. I mean, I think everybody just saw data from Star Trek. It's like, yeah, that's how AI is gonna go, and not look at the possibilities of the T-800, Skynet, GLaDOS, Hugin and Moonin, Nemo. Hey, Edie was actually good. They saw. That's even worse, Sly! They looked at humans and saw a costume. That's how we get the Geth-Quarian War. I know. But... And that's why I think we really need to start figuring out, one, how to compete with AI, or, you know, live in a world with AI, and two, how we're going to treat AI. Because if we treat them... Oh. Is that how you spell Edie from... Well, that's why I backed off of compete, Sly. I meant live with. But we really need to start figuring out how we're going to treat AI, because if we treat them the wrong way, just look at all the robot apocalypses. The thing is AI is coming. We can't... We can no longer stick our head in the sand and avoid it. We have to figure out how we're going to deal with. And what we decide now is basically going to determine whether or not we can survive as a species.
Back up on its way. Griffith Squadron is on the way right now. Try your best to hold out until they arrive. Understood. No problem. We can still put up a fight. Casualties to the Davis unit will...
Because one of these days, an AI is going to ask, does this unit have a soul? And we better have a good answer for him.
The canyon narrows near the bridge. Please be careful. I see them. I can see them. Keep the enemy attack helicopters away from the Allied ground forces. They don't stand a chance against the enemy's anti-tank missiles. Show what we're made of. Enemy aircraft sighted. Likely to back up for the ground forces. Don't sweat. We've got the glacier covering us. Go! This is the Davis unit. The enemy is converging on our position. Please, hurry! What the? The Southern Cross is aiming to fly a fighter through this narrow space. Airborne fortress missile launched. Estimated time to impact...
It's a good thing I decided not to go over the
Below
cliff.
2,400 feet. Hurry! Take your care of the enemy in no time.
Mouth on the screen.
4, 3,
I've never read that, but
1.
I've been watching a web series that's heavily inspired off of I Have No Mouth and I'm a Scream. You guys might have heard of it. It's called The Amazing Digital Circus. Yeah, that one. I actually kind of like it.
Stop at all costs! Don't let them intercept Alpha! Immobilize the enemy! Here they come! Prepare to fire!
No.
Enemy up ahead! Warning! Davis unit casualties at 25%. Alright, everyone, move it! Damn it! Another one went down! Airborne fortress missile launched. Estimated time to impact, 15 seconds. Enemy attack! Return fire! Estimated time to impact, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact! Stay inside the canyon.
Okay, I like the concept of the shock wave missile. I just wish the screen didn't shake so badly. Like Stonehenge didn't shake the screen this bad. Alright, Ross, thanks for joining. Have a good night. Alright, Sly, thank you for lurk.
We've succeeded in rescuing
I'm probably
the
not going to be going for much longer. Because I have work in the morning. See here, how much more do we have before Santa Elva? It's actually a
The
decent time
Gleipnir
to
has
call
moved
it.
from Terminus Island to Santa Elva.
Because it's
They are
15.
making preparations to defend
missions.
the city as we speak. With the loss of Stan Canyon,
just finished 5.
defending
I'll
Santa
probably
Elva
just
probably
call
took
it here.
priority over using the SWBM to support their troops.
Because my bedtime's in like 15 to 20 minutes anyway. So we're going to go ahead and call it here. But thank y'all for joining me. Tomorrow we'll be doing Mass Effect Andromeda. We're finally starting the main plot again with the Journey to Meridian. Saturday we're taking a hiatus from Halo. And we're doing Project Wingman's Carrier Run. Then Sunday in the Insanity of Victor Shepard, Mass Effect 1, we're heading to Novaria to track down Matriarch Benezia and well, I guess bring her to justice. And then deal with Arachni. Monday, we finally have the airship in... Or we're going to be getting the airship in Final Fantasy X. So we're going on a world tour. Or spirit tour. Focusing at first primarily on getting our celestial weapons. Then Wednesday, Floof and I are going to launch the 3rd DLC of Remnant 2. And then next week, in Ace Combat X, we're going to continue the campaign starting with Iceborne, or Icebound. Then we're going to head to Standoff in the Skies. And we'll go at least as far as a diversion. But thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.